Hey, God's people, I have a question for you. And you know I love a good question that sends us on a quest. And I believe as we are beginning to wrap up this month, we've got 2 more Sundays. I believe if you'll grab your pen and your paper, you're going to need it because God is going to set us on fire. He's going to set us on a path to prepare for our new year now, right now. Yes. If you're willing, if you're ready, if you will obey when you hear the word of the Lord, I'm telling you, these last 2 messages could shift the entire trajectory of your life. God is a God of life-altering love, but he is not inactive. And if we are going to be like our God, we too must not be inactive. Because here's the thing, as we're talking about this series of faith and fire, fire is living and breathing. It moves. Yes, it transforms what it touches. What about you? Okay, so here's my question. If you were going on a field trip, let's say you were a part of a group that was teaching on reproduction and how things change and seasons and seeds and how you get a harvest, all of those things, and you go to a place where there is a farmer with lots of land. And you and your group walk up and you see the farmer standing out, looking upon the vastness of his beautiful land. He's got a strap of a bag full of seeds. And yet he's standing on the edge of his land and he's saying, Lord, give me a great harvest this year. Lord, do what only you can do. Let this harvest change the lives of others. Let it go into many families. Let it be able to share and feed and provide for many. And then you look and see all the seeds are still in his strapped bag. All of the seeds. So he's praying, and he's praying fervently, and he's asking God to bring forth the harvest. But the farmer has kept all the seeds within him. He hasn't casted one seed into this land that God has given unto him. Now, would you celebrate the farmer and say, wow, what a marvelous prayer? Or would you say, farmer, your participation in the prayer is missing? Farmer, yes, God can bring forth a harvest, but he's given you seed. As a matter of fact, the word says that God always gives seed to the sower, not to the farmer, who is inactive in doing his part of the bargain. God's going to do his part. But are you holding all your seeds, all your gifts, all your talents, all of the things that God has said unto you? He's told you what your life can look like, what all of these things. You've had prophecies. You've read the word and stood on his promises. But have you casted your seed? Have you done your part? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because look, okay, we're going to start at Psalm 27. Because this is what I believe many of the believers get mixed up, and God is after this today. Starting at verse 13 of Psalm 27, it says, "Still I am certain to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." Listen, in this psalm, you're talking about all of the things that can be seen that will shake us, that those things can come against us. Many things, obstacles, would come against us, but how we perceive it, right? If we see it just as obstacles, not just obstacles that are opportunities, right? For God to prove himself, for us to see what's on the inside of us. But he says, "I am certain that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." Verse 14, "Wait patiently for the Lord. Be strong and courageous. Wait patiently for the Lord." If waiting meant to do nothing, why would you need to be strong? If waiting meant to do nothing but to pray, why would you need to be courageous? Yeah, it might be tight, but it's going to be right today. Okay, so now let's look at Isaiah. We're going to lay this foundation real good. Let's look at Isaiah. And we're going to scroll down. This is a familiar passage of scripture, but I want you to see these together. So Isaiah 40:31, "But those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." And what people will intend, particularly those who want to be apathetic in the midst of this time of waiting, they'll say, okay, so there's a season of waiting and then God's going to renew. But we already saw in that Psalm 27 that the strength and courageousness and the waiting go together. So when he says, "But those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength," because waiting just doesn't mean sitting around praying, talking about it, da 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 da. No. I'm going to show you in just a minute. So he says they will mount up with wings as eagle. They will be able to do these things because they're operating together. They're waiting upon the Lord. They're trusting in the Lord. I'm going to read you the definition in just a minute, but I want to lay these scriptures out. James 2. All right. In James 2, we're going to start at verse 14. Let's see. Let me scoot down. I just saw another verse that was good. Okay, let's stay on track. Starting at verse 14 of James 2. "What good is it, brothers, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save him? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you tells him, 'Go in peace, be warm, well fed,' but does not provide his physical needs, what good is that? So too, faith by itself, if it does not result in action, is dead. But someone will say, 'You have faith and I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I'll show you my faith by my deeds.' You believe that God is one. Good for you. Even the demons believe that and shudder. O foolish man," verse 20, "do you want evidence that faith without deeds is worthless? Was it not our father Abraham justified by what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar?" You see that faith was working with his actions, and his faith was perfected by what he did. And the scripture was fulfilled that says Abraham believed God, did something, and it was credited to him as righteousness, and he was called a friend of God. And you remember when Isaac says, "Well, I see the wood, I see the fire, what's the sacrifice?" He says, we're going to keep moving because God is going to show us. God is going to provide the lamb. God is going to do, but I can't just sit here, right, and see my faith in operation. I can't just sit here and see God move on my behalf. I have to move. I have to go to the mountain. I have to keep stepping in the direction that I believe God has called me to, according to my purpose, according to my gifts. And then I'm going to see God move. So he says, as you can see, a man is justified by his deeds and not by faith alone. In the same way, was not Rahab the prostitute justified by her actions when she welcomed the spies and sent them off on another route? Verse 26, as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is going to take us into next week because we've got to see this, and God's going to give us specific strategies of how you can put your faith in operation. Tie it to your prayers, because watch this. The definition of wait, because waiting is active, in the Hebrew it says to bind together by twisting. Isn't that interesting? Like strands of a rope. It means to actively expect, to gather strength, to hope with tension and anticipation. And so you begin to bind your hope, your faith, and your deeds to see God demonstrate on your behalf. In the Greek, the definition says to wait with expectation, to look forward with eagerness. So waiting on the Lord means that you're preparing, you're creating, you're planning, and you're moving in faith, depending on God to give you the direction and the strength and the courage that you need as you move. Yes, as you move. You hear that? So it's not passive waiting. It is the movement. It is the binding together, the twisting together of your deeds and your faith together. And so next week, we're going to remind you of these things. I want you to take some time this week and look at these verses so that you can see that your waiting is the working and the planning and the deciding, so that you can find out. If you're saying, I don't know what is next, but I believe God will show me, then you begin to take the steps. And then God directs the path as you move. How do you direct the path? How do you know to turn left or right if you won't even get on the road? Do not be a farmer who keeps his seed yet is praying for a harvest. God has a harvest for each and every one of us. Cast your seed. Send out your prayers. Write the vision, make it plain, begin running so God can show you the direction that you are to take. I love you now. I'll see you next time.